Welcome back to Samara Builds, where I'm building a better life. Today I'm dressed like a psychiatrist, at least in my head. I'm trying to do therapy vibes. And most psychiatrists I've met over the years are a little bit quirky, which I love. So that's what I'm bringing to the table, because guess what? I can do what I want. I'm an adult. I have my own YouTube channel, doing what I want and having fun. Today we're talking about how to trick people into going to therapy. No, that's not it. How to force people to go to therapy. No, that's not gonna work either. This is how to talk to somebody else about going to therapy. As always, I'm not a therapist, although I'm trying to dress like one. I'm not even dressed like my therapist. She dresses way cuter than this. I'm not any kind of anything except a girly who's been in a lot of therapy, and it's helped me immensely, and I've seen it help other people's lives, and I've talked to tons of people about therapy. This is a big topic. We all know somebody that we know would benefit from therapy. Even if you're not the biggest believer in therapy, we all know someone that's like, girl, boy, person, friend. You need to talk to someone. I feel like I can definitely say this because I've been through a lot of therapy. So for some reason that gives me the right. It doesn't. But I mean, it also just comes from a place of love. And so it's important to recognize that in yourself, right? If we love someone and we see them struggling, we want to be like, hey, bloom, bloom, bloom. I know what might help you because it helped me. Therapy. And this can be such a loaded conversation. First of all, I think it's important to recognize, why you think somebody might benefit from therapy. Like, I think we need to look inward with this question. Do we need to be better at boundaries with this person? What is this person doing that's holding up a mirror that's reflecting something that bothers you about yourself? Start inward. Before you talk to the other person, before you even think about it, think about, what is this saying about me? This is just an example that doesn't have to do with therapy, but just to sort of exemplify what I'm talking about. I used to work with this guy who had really bad grammar, and they were in a leadership role, and I was just like, ugh, work on your freaking grammar, my dude. I didn't say anything to him, but every time he would say something in a certain way, I would cringe. And then I realized I used to talk that way because I grew up poor and not in a world of high literature with all the people that were around me. And I was ashamed of the way I grew up, not because of other people around me. The people that I grew up with, I loved that would talk this way, like farmers and stuff, salt of the earth, best people. I love them, but I was ashamed of the way I grew up because of the traumas that I went through, but those got tied together for me. Maybe if somebody else is being a jackass, it's because you were raised in a way that you could never, ever, ever be a jackass, ever process anger or annoyance or frustration in an outward way. And so when you see somebody else do it, makes you really uncomfortable. This is one example of what could be a myriad of situations. But like I said, when somebody else is behaving in a way that's making you uncomfortable, and I'm not saying in a way that you're unsafe or anything like that, but just if you're thinking, oh boy, this person could use therapy, what is it saying about you? Just take a little break and think, how is this reflecting on me? Now, maybe this is somebody who comes to you for advice a lot, or to vent a lot, and then they never change their life. They're always, this is just a silly example. They're always talking about how they're so thirsty all day long. They're just so thirsty, and so is drinking water, and so got themselves a glass of water, but then asked this person if they wanted a glass of water, and they're just so thirsty all day long. And you're like, hey, what I do is I get myself a water bottle every day, and I drink out of it, and I just keep it right by me, and it helps me stay hydrated. And then they come and complain again that they're so thirsty and nobody's helping them get water. and you're like, oh, they have these like little notifications on your phone. You get the point of what I'm saying. You're always giving them advice, or like they're always venting about the same thing. And when I have these people in my life, I'm always like, you need therapy, my guy. And it's not about water. It's about like, more complicated issues. I think you get the point I'm trying to make. Sometimes it's not a full just reflection of ourselves or our boundary we need to put in place. Yeah, there are a lot of people who can benefit from therapy. How do you talk about that? How do you bring that up? You don't bring it up. And I know it's really tempting to want to sit down and like have a conversation of like, you need therapy, my guy. But I would say rare is the circumstance that is going to be really beneficial, because my guess is that person's going to get super defensive. So when they come to you and they start to vent or they ask for advice about the same thing again, just say, hey, can we pause for just a second? Are you looking to get advice, or are you looking just to vent? And depending on their answer, this is how you answer. If they're saying, I want some advice, you can say kindly and with love, I love you so much, and I want to see you succeed in your life, and I want to see you, get past this issue that we've talked about a lot. I've given all the advice that I can, and I'm thinking that maybe now it's above my pay grade. I want to be here for you, and if there's anything I can share that can help, I want to do that. But at this point, my well is spent. But, if you want to talk to like a professional about it, I can, give you recommendations, or, I can help guide you to this girl's YouTube channel where she talks about the ways that therapy can help, because I'm past what I can do here, and I love you so much, and I want to see you succeed. So I think the main points to hit are that you love them, you want to help them, but it's just past what you can do, and maybe therapy is a good option for them. If they answer that they just want to vent, it's a similar answer of, I love you so much, and I want to have the bandwidth to handle any issue that you bring to me. But when it gets so repetitive, like we've talked about this before, and we've talked about this before, it's kind of past the point where like it's affecting my mental health, or like I don't really see the benefit in just kind of regurgitating the same thing over and over again. And so I love you so much. I want you to be able to move on from this. And so I'm thinking maybe a professional is the best person to help you achieve that, because at this point, I don't feel like it's helpful for you or for me to go through this same situation again. These are hard conversations to have. You don't know how people are going to react. You don't know how it's going to affect your relationship, and that's scary. I think coming to a conversation with compassion, curiosity, love is the best to do for like any situation, but especially something like this. Just remind that person that you love them so much and you want to see them succeed. You want to see them be the best version of themselves, but it's just past what you can do anymore. Also, like we've all heard of, individual therapy, group therapy, couples therapy. I believe that friendship therapy is something that's on the rise. It's something I've never done, but like definitely interested in it. And so maybe that's a good segue, or just like a group therapy or something. Like you can bring up the different modalities of therapy, or, how it's helped you. I think that's a really positive, good thing to do, is how therapy has helped you in your life. Just to show, first of all, if they go to therapy, it's not because you think they're crazy or like they'll be alone in this. Like it's great for everybody, I think. You have to find the right one, and that takes time. And so let them know that you'll be there for them through that while they navigate finding the right kind of therapy and the right kind of therapist. Just try to bring, like I said, compassion and curiosity to every conversation that has to do with this, because it is a delicate situation and it is easy to get defensive. I get so defensive about the stupidest stuff. And so if somebody were to say to me, you need therapy, I'd be like, bitch, you need therapy. Honestly, we probably both do, but it's a hard conversation to have. And so it's not even always worth having. You have to consider your relationship with that person, how they might react to it, and maybe it's something you talk to your therapist about. If you have a friend where you don't feel like it's a good idea to bring it up as a suggestion. Just continue to bring up how it's helped you. Like, kick that up a few notches of like how much you're talking about your therapy sessions and how much it's helping you, and how much it's helped other people in your lives. Sort of like try to sneak it into their brain as a little like thought seed that you can maybe help grow. I guess maybe we are trying to trick people into going to therapy. And then, like I said, ultimately, regardless of what that other person does, you have to be comfortable with your boundary setting, and you have to recognize that you don't have control over anybody else. You only have control over yourself. Even if that person goes to therapy, therapy is only as good as you are open in those sessions. If they're not going to be fully honest with their therapist, if they're not going to like fully try or commit, it's not going to be helpful to them, right? And so, like I said, you have to like look inward, see what it does for you. You have to do boundary setting. And then at a certain point, I guess we have to accept other people with all of their flaws, just like we're trying to accept ourselves with all of our flaws. If it becomes a situation where it's no longer healthy for you to be in that friendship or, whatever kind of relationship, those are harder boundaries to set. But ultimately, we're all trying our best, making mistakes. It's hard. It's hard, even when you just have a friend who is open to going to therapy, like finding a therapist and all of that. It's a hard process. Life is freaking hard. Therapy can be a way to help. And there are lots of other ways too. So just be gentle to yourself, be gentle to your friends, be gentle to the world. I think we all could use a little more gentleness right now. So eat something healthy today, drink some water, go for a walk, believe in yourself, and I'll catch you next time on Samara Builds a Better Life. Thanks, guys. Bye. Therapy.